So guys, what's going on? So I figured I'd show you something that you may not necessarily see. This is like a warehouse, I guess, where they store Mr. Softy trucks. Mr. Softy drivers have these trucks, and they park them here. I'm in an area of the Bronx called Hunts Point, and I'm seeing one of my friends, and across the street from where he has his place, there's a Mr. Softy storage where they store Mr. Softy trucks. Now, I thought I was taking video. Somehow it turned into pictures. I'm not sure what I did, but here you go. Now, inside of this facility, I'm going to say there's at least 20 Mr. Softy trucks. There may be more. And they're all kind of lined up. And they could come and go as they please. There's like no set time. They can roll in and out of here 24 hours a day, from what I understand. Now, I know someone. He's not my friend, but I know a guy that has 3 trucks. He has 3 different routes. And the few times I've talked with him, he tells me that each route, you kind of have a route. Like, there's not... If I have a certain route in a certain area, now this guy has 2 routes in the Bronx, and he has 1 route that's in Queens, New York. Another Mr. Softy truck can't go on that route. Now, it's a franchise, and you have to kind of follow, franchise rules, whatever the rules are set by Mr. Softy, like any other franchise. You kind of can make your own hours. He would leave, 2, 3 in the afternoon, kind of when school's coming out, and he may come back around 10, 11 at night, and possibly in the summer, he may be out to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, is what he was telling me. And I guess it all depends on the area, and, if he can make money or not, and judging on the night. If it's a night where it's just a night where people are out and it's busy, nice weather, he'll stay out longer. And if it's night where maybe the weather's not so hot and people are just in the house or they're inside, he'll bring it in sooner. But usually he has a route, and he hits certain blocks at certain times. He knows the blocks where there's kids, the blocks where there aren't, so he may avoid some blocks in the route just because he thinks they're a waste of time. But he kind of can run the route how he wants. This is an industrial area. This whole area is basically auto repair shops, auto body shops. It's scrap metal, things like that, recycling. That's what's kind of on this street. And a lot of these trucks, this one particular guy, he'll kind of, something's up with the truck. One of the auto body guys may help him out, fix the truck. He will give them ice cream, things like that. Like this guy, he has 3 trucks and 3 routes. He drives 1 truck, and the other 2 trucks, he has other people driving. He has drivers that basically run the route, and then I don't know how they whack the money up, whether it's a percentage or he pays them a straight fee. Now, I know that in the past, Mr. Softy trucks, they sometimes get into it with the private ice cream trucks. Like, you wouldn't even know this is going on. Like, these ice cream people kind of have turf wars almost. Mr. Softy does too, where if I have a route, a Mr. Softy route, and maybe there's some good human truck and they're on the same route, something happens where they do something to try to push the guy out the way he was explaining it to me. I seen it once where there was a guy that had a private ice cream truck. It looked like a converted fake Mr. Softy truck. And I don't know if he was an old Mr. Softy guy that got his own route. Anyway, this truck was on a block. It was on a particular place in the Bronx near a park. And 3 Mr. Softy trucks, surrounded it. And the 3 guys jumped out of the truck and they started yelling and fighting with this one independent operator. Get out of here, don't come here, that type of thing. That was it. They were fighting with this one guy, and I never seen him again. I know that during last year when a lot of things were shut down, from what I understand, the ice cream trucks weren't even coming around, but there were Mr. Softy trucks that were coming from Brooklyn and they were coming into the Bronx. And they were just going around trying to sell ice creams. They weren't sure where the trucks were coming from. I don't know if they grabbed the truck, but they were basically trucks that were not supposed to be in certain areas. They were Mr. Softy trucks, real Mr. Softy trucks, but they were coming out of another borough and they were going on other people's routes. That's because everybody was kind of locked in the house, but these guys, I guess they had to make their money, and they were doing something like that. And that's not happening anymore. Now, Mr. Softy has been going around, I don't know, we're in April, I would say the last month and a half, the weather got a little bit nice in the last month or so, and you started seeing Mr. Softy. He's back again. The certain neighborhoods I'm in, I see Mr. Softy trucks around. Mr. Softy's always that truck. Their big thing is they have the soft serve ice cream, where maybe like the Good Humor truck only had like, the prepackaged bars. But Mr. Softy usually had the soft serve. You were able to get shakes, things like that for Mr. Softy. And that's what set Mr. Softy apart from other ice cream trucks. They have their own mix. Comes from Mr. Softy itself. I did see Mr. Softy one time where they actually had, I don't want to say a storefront, but when I was in Jersey, I was on the Wildwood Boardwalk in New Jersey, and they actually had a setup. New Jersey has one big ice cream place that dominates. It's called Coors. I started to see a Mr. Softy in this particular boardwalk. Had like 2 Mr. Softy locations that were right on the boardwalk. I went back one year. They were there. I think a year or 2 later when I went back to Wildwood, they were gone. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But Mr. Softy never really opened up any sort of storefront like a Carvel or a Baskin Robbins. They basically stick to trucks. They probably would do good if they opened up like a brick and mortar type of store. I guess that's just not their business model. Anyway, that's Mr. Softy. Now, the guy I know that has Mr. Softy trucks, I guess he does okay. He does pretty good. It's a cash business. The more you work it, the more money you make. It's not a Monday through Friday job. It's kind of every day. Every day they're in these trucks and they're rolling around. It's their business and they're trying to sell ice cream. They do make money with private parties. I've had parties where I've had the Softy truck. You pay them like a flat fee. They stay for like an hour, sometimes 2 hours. And you can just basically unlimited ice cream. That's the way it works. And that works nice. The kids run up, they get ice cream, they go back and forth. But Mr. Softy's big for parties. Wedding, whatever it is, you could hire a Mr. Softy truck, and that's a lot of fun. The adults like it just as much as the kids. Now, that's New York. I don't know exactly what happens outside of New York City with Mr. Softy trucks. I've seen Mr. Softy trucks in Pennsylvania. I've seen them in New Jersey. They're up in Westchester County very rarely. Sometimes that's a suburb of New York. Maybe once I've seen them upstate New York. I've never seen them in Connecticut. I don't know if they're there or they're allowed to go there, or the trucks that leave New York want to travel that far. But I've seen them in Jersey, seen them in PA, seen them in Upper Westchester, seen them once or twice, maybe in upstate New York. I'm talking like an hour and a half, 2 hours outside the city. And that's it. I like Mr. Softy. Sometimes I get it. It all depends if I'm from wherever I am and there's a truck there, I might run and get, a cone or something. I think it's like $2 for a cone with sprinkles. I think they're sundaes, like you could get like a cherry sundae or a pineapple sundae, which is basically a cup of ice cream that usually runs like $5-6. I don't know the exact price. And they also sell, the prepackaged, bars as well. I think they sell Good Humor bars. I'm not sure, but they do sell like wrapped bars. You can buy like a SpongeBob SquarePants or like a snow cone from Mr. Softy as well. And that's it. All right, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe. Hey, if you know anything more about Mr. Softy, maybe you have a Mr. Softy truck, leave a comment below. I love to read them. All right, God bless you, and I will talk to you guys later.